would you consider 4?
I'll tell you what, I'll go 38, and I'm probably crazy for doing it.
Okay, I'll take the 38.
Okay, cool. I really appreciate it. Leave that right there. Follow me, and we'll go do some paperwork.
At first glance, it looks like just another garage big, neat, and filled with a few classic cars. But take a step further inside, and you'll discover something totally unexpected. What's hiding behind those polished doors isn't just impressive. It's downright unbelievable. How did this stay under the radar? And what does it reveal about the real Rick Harrison? Stay with us, because once you see it, you won't believe this is where he unwinds. Before he became popular on the hit show Pawn Stars, Rick Harrison was already knee-deep in grease, gears, and gasoline. Long before reality TV fame and Vegas glitz, Harrison's life revolved around 2 things: the pawn business and a serious obsession with automobiles. That passion didn't just develop overnight. It started early. By the time he was 13. He was already working in his father's auto repossession business, juggling that alongside hours at the family pawn shop. It wasn't just a job. It was the beginning of what Harrison openly calls his car addiction. And it's not an exaggeration. He owns more than 30 vehicles, a collection that ranges from rugged classics to quirky oddballs and everything in between. Among his prized rides are a 1940 Chevy Special Deluxe, a 1968 Mustang GT Fastback, and a 1973 Volkswagen Thing, which he fondly remembers as his very first car. Basically, they're bulletproof, he says of the VW. His garage is also home to a 1947 Power Wagon, a 1973 Jeep, and 2 Harleys, along with dirt bikes, a tractor, and a 1940 Indian Chief motorcycle with a sidecar. But for Harrison, it's not about showing off. It's about the joy of the machine. I'm a car addict, he says plainly. If I brought another car home, there would be problems. I have a lot of cars as it is. That passion doesn't fade when the cameras stop rolling. After long days filming or working at the gold and silver pawn shop, he unwinds by getting hands-on with his machines. I'm a really spastic guy. I can't sit still, he admits. When I get off work, I just go home and go to my machine shop or work on the old cars. Even though he's resisted the urge to buy a NASCAR car. They're fast, they're badass, they're amazing. He hasn't stayed far from the track. Harrison's been spotted at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, even taking high-speed laps during the Richard Petty driving experience. And while he doesn't own a race car, he's seen his face on Jeremy Clement's nationwide car during Vegas races. A gimmick he finds humorous. It makes me look like an ass, but I love it, he jokes. His car journey hasn't always been glamorous. When asked about the worst vehicle he ever owned, Harrison recalls a 1969 Oldsmobile Delta 88 he bought at 17 for just $150. It had no back seat, he laughs. I rode it for a good 6 months and put 4 or 5 quarts of oil a week in it. But here's the question. What happens when that kind of car passion collides with home design? Can a house reflect horsepower? Come with us to know. When Rick Harrison of Pawn Stars fame opened the doors to his Red Rock Country Club home in Summerlin, it wasn't just a glimpse into a luxury Las Vegas property. It was a reflection of the man himself. From the moment you enter the nearly 9,000 square foot estate, it's clear that this isn't a typical high-end listing. Harrison's personality and passions are embedded into every corner, especially when it comes to the home's customization, much of it inspired by his deep love for automobiles and appreciation for function-driven design. A self-proclaimed gearhead with a collection of 29 cars, Harrison didn't stop at building an 11-car garage. He infused that space and other parts of the home with the very material that speaks to his automotive soul. Automotive-grade paint, the crown molding, and many of the doors throughout the home were coated in this high-performance industrial paint, costing anywhere from $500 to $1,500 per gallon. Why? Harrison explained that automotive paint doesn't just offer rich, vibrant colors that can't be matched with traditional paints. It also holds up to wear, tear, and in his case, the chaos that comes with 6 children and a bunch of grandkids. The automotive paint washes 100 times better, he noted. One standout area is the sitting room near the formal dining area, where a fireplace pops with bright green automotive paint, complementing oversized Christopher Guy chairs. It's bold, functional, and speaks volumes about his taste. A blend of rugged utility and design flair. It's Rick from Pawn Stars, as he puts it, and the house reflects exactly that, with no pretense and plenty of personality. The garage, though already large, still wasn't enough for Harrison's ever-growing car collection and hands-on hobbies. That limitation became one of the main reasons he decided to move. He recently purchased a 1.5-acre ranch home in unincorporated Clark County, complete with plans to build a 4,000-square-foot garage to better support his passions and growing projects. At the Red Rock home, the HOA had its limits. The HOA is not big on me welding and having 1 million machines in my garage, Harrison joked. It was a nod to the fact that his garage space wasn't just for parking. It was for welding, fabrication, machinery, and other heavy-duty work that required more flexibility than a luxury neighborhood could offer. For buyers or enthusiasts looking at this home, the value lies not only in its luxury finishes and amenities, but in the thought and quality behind its customizations. Harrison didn't just renovate to impress. He tailored the home with purpose, precision, and a craftsman's sensibility, using premium materials to suit an active, multifunctional lifestyle. From the durability of automotive finishes to the spacious garage infrastructure, every detail was selected with intention. The home offers a rare blend of form, function, and personal investment that elevates its character far beyond standard high-end listings. It's a house with a story, built by a man who values both horsepower and heart. But what does a garage look like when it's not just a place to park, but the very heart of a lifestyle? Rick Harrison's 11-car garage isn't just a numerical brag. It represents a carefully thought-out balance between lifestyle needs, personal interests, and future planning. While it currently serves as part of his 845-square-foot luxury home in Red Rock Country Club, the garage also illustrates a tension between ambition and space constraints. In fact, it became clear to Harrison that even a facility of this size wasn't enough for his ever-expanding interests. This garage is climate-controlled, an important but often overlooked detail. In a desert climate like Las Vegas, where extreme temperatures can damage vehicle interiors, battery health, and paintwork, temperature regulation is not a luxury, but a necessity for any serious car collector. Such a feature indicates that the space was designed to preserve not just quantity, but the quality of Harrison's collection over time. It signals long-term thinking and attention to the preservation of high-value or vintage automobiles. Interestingly, Harrison doesn't see the garage as the final answer to his storage needs. He recently bought a 5-acre ranch property in the Northwest Valley, in unincorporated Clark County, with plans to build an additional 4,000-square-foot garage, a substantial upgrade that speaks to the scale of his collection and the overflow from the current residents. This plan also reveals a shift in lifestyle. Moving to an area without a strict homeowner association HOA, he noted, means fewer restrictions on his industrial hobbies, such as welding and heavy mechanical work. This tells us that his new space won't just be for storage. It'll likely become a dedicated workshop zone integrated with his daily life. Beyond the cars, the garage doubles as storage for his broader array of machines and tools. Harrison specifically joked about needing space for 1 million machines, reinforcing that this garage has been a multifunctional area, part personal museum, part mechanical workshop, and part industrial playroom. One of the more unique insights about the garage is its interaction with the rest of the home. Unlike many high-end garages that are hidden out of view or placed as afterthoughts, Harrison's setup is part of the overall architectural narrative of the house. The home is packed with specialized rooms, a gym, a wine cellar, and even a 12-seat theater. And the garage joins this collection not as an outbuilding, but as an integrated high-utility part of the house. This suggests careful design coordination between Harrison and the original architects or renovators, possibly with attention given to accessibility, power supply, and noise insulation, especially considering the machinery and welding involved. When the engines go silent and the garage lights dim, what hidden passion keeps Rick Harrison's mind racing? Let us tell you. Step inside Rick Harrison's garage and you'll find the roar of engines, the gleam of vintage chrome, and tools that whisper tales of restoration and passion. But step into his mind and you might be surprised by what fuels him when the wrenches are set down. Amid pistons and horsepower, Harrison harbors another quieter obsession: history. And not just the grand stuff of kings and castles, but the gritty, raw, and sometimes uncomfortable truth of how ordinary people once lived. It's not uncommon for Harrison to devour books the way some binge TV series. A favorite he often recommends? The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England by Ian Mortimer. Far from being a dry textbook, the book plunges readers into the very bones of 14th century daily life. And for Harrison, that's the sweet spot. It's a book about the private lives of common people, he explained, and not in the sanitized way Hollywood might present. Oh, life sucked back then, he says with a chuckle that only half hides his awe. His eyes light up as he talks about how medieval people lived stacked together in single-room homes, doing everything from cooking to sleeping to, yes, having sex out in the open. Everyone slept in one long room, he said. If you were very prosperous, you might have one wall partitioned off in another room. That was luxury. There's an authenticity Harrison loves about those brutal days. No privacy, no insulation, no chimneys, just a fire pit in the middle of the room. The ceilings were blackened with soot. Their candles, made of tallow, rendered animal fat. They stunk, he added, but it was real, dirty, hard, and somehow deeply fascinating to a man who now lives among sleek cars, climate-controlled garages, and automotive-grade paint. In a way, this passion for historical truth mirrors his car obsession. Both interests spring from the same root: a love for craftsmanship, a curiosity about how people used to live, and a desire to preserve pieces of the past, whether in the form of a restored 1940 Chevy or the pages of a well-worn history book. It's easy to imagine Harrison covered in grease one minute and turning a page the next trading torque specs for tales of medieval peasants boiling roots over smoky hearths. And maybe that's the point. Rick Harrison isn't just a TV personality or a collector of cars. He's a collector of time. He hunts for relics in his pawn shop, resurrects machines in his garage, and roams through centuries in the quiet. What kind of vehicle could possibly satisfy a man who drifts between medieval history and modern horsepower? One foot in the 14th century, the other flooring the gas pedal? Stay with us to know. Rick Harrison is not only a history buff, but also a lifelong car enthusiast. His daily driver is a 2018 Ford F-150 Raptor, which he proudly rates a perfect 10 out of 10. Known for its impressive off-road capabilities, Harrison appreciates its ground clearance, suspension, and locking rear differential features he finds essential for the 5 months he lives off the grid in Oregon's mountains. "I've had it going 70 miles per hour through the desert," he says. "It's a beast that can bottom out at 50 and keep going without a hiccup." For Harrison, the Raptor is not just a truck. It's a survival tool. It tows, hauls, and handles rough terrain with ease, especially when he's dragging fallen trees or navigating rugged logging roads. While he loves the truck, he humorously complains about a poorly placed mirror control button that often causes his side mirrors to fold in by accident while driving. "I go to roll down the window, hit the wrong button, and suddenly my mirrors fold in on the freeway." He laughs. He also notes that the extra width, about 8 inches wider than a standard truck, makes it difficult to park in urban settings, joking that it's like driving around a dually. In spite of his deep appreciation for the Raptor, Harrison's favorite car is his custom-built 1940 Chevrolet Special Deluxe. This car has been a 12-year-long project, modified with an Elson engine, air suspension, and a chopped roof. It's the kind of low-slung, fat-fendered car he dreamed of as a kid, a nostalgic nod to Hot Wheels and Vintage Cartoons magazine. Harrison values the design of pre-Wubiautu vehicles, emphasizing the beauty and craftsmanship of cars built in the 1930s and 40s, which he believes were far more stylish than those of the modern era. Back then, cars had real flair, he says. They weren't just appliances. They were works of art. Also in his garage is a pristine 1966 Imperial Crown convertible, inherited from his father. Only 600 were made, and at the time, it was more expensive than a Rolls-Royce. This 6,000-pound, 20-foot-long convertible is a cherished piece of his father's legacy. Though Harrison admits it's like driving a boat, he rarely drives it, reserving it for special occasions and parades. But it remains one of his most sentimental possessions. His first car, the Volkswagen thing, holds special significance for Harrison. It was the car he learned to drive in, taught not by his father, but by his calm and patient mother. Originally designed as a military utility vehicle, the thing was only sold in the US for 2 years due to safety concerns. Harrison eventually found and restored another one, reliving fond memories from his youth. He even received a VW thing as a gift from the History Channel and completed the restoration himself. He now keeps it at his Oregon ranch, driving it on beaches and sand dunes, describing it as indestructible and pure fun. Among his favorite road trips is a teenage adventure to Duck Creek Village, Utah, in the original VW thing, roofless and without a heater. Today, he still takes solo road trips, camping in Northern California with just a hammock and the open road. For Harrison, cars aren't just transportation. They're deeply personal reflections of his past, his passions, and his adventurous spirit. What does a man like Rick Harrison build when the roads end and the rumors begin? In the swirling chaos of today's digital landscape, where misinformation spreads faster than truth, one particularly bizarre tale captured the internet's attention. According to viral videos and AI-generated clickbait headlines, Rick Harrison, the beloved face of Pawn Stars, had been raided by the FBI, arrested, and sentenced to life in prison. The rumors painted a dramatic narrative: secret rooms in his Las Vegas home, charges of tax evasion and money laundering, and even trafficking in stolen cultural artifacts. The videos racked up millions of views, amplified by sensational thumbnails showing Harrison in orange prison jumpsuits or being led away in handcuffs. But there was just one problem. None of it was true. Fact-checkers at Yahoo, Snopes, and US Prison Guide investigated and swiftly debunked the story. There was no evidence of an FBI raid, no official charges, and certainly no courtroom drama ending in a life sentence. The The supposed Department of Cultural Heritage Protection cited in these videos doesn't even exist in the United States. Most tellingly, the images used were confirmed to be AI-generated fakes fabrications designed to mislead for clicks and ad revenue. As the internet lit up with this fictitious scandal, Rick Harrison was quietly occupied with something far more real and far more meaningful. He was building his dream garage. Not just any garage. This was a project years in the making. A fully custom-built high-tech mechanical haven, conceived not merely as a place to store vehicles, but as a living, breathing workshop of creativity and restoration. Tucked away in Las Vegas, the garage stands as a deeply personal tribute to Rick's lifelong passion for all things mechanical. The layout is as ambitious as the man behind it. Multiple car lifts allow Harrison to work on classic muscle cars and rare vintage autos with ease. Specialized welding bays provide space for detailed fabrication and bodywork. The garage is climate-controlled to ensure even the most delicate vintage parts and interiors are preserved in mint condition. From industrial lighting to precision tool stations, every inch of the space is optimized for deep mechanical work and careful craftsmanship. But more than just a technical marvel, this garage is also emotional ground for Harrison. After the devastating loss of his son Adam in 2024 due to a fentanyl overdose, this space became a form of therapy and an escape from grief and the noise of the outside world. In the solitude of tools and torque, he finds focus, purpose, and peace. This garage isn't just a building, it's a symbol of resilience. Rick has poured himself into every bolt, weld, and design detail. Friends and fans who have seen early glimpses describe it as a temple for restoration where time slows down and lost pieces of history are brought roaring back to life. Rick has hinted that the garage may even serve as a set for future storytelling, perhaps a new show, podcast feature, or documentary series. For now, though, it's a sanctuary where history isn't just admired but rebuilt one vintage car at a time. So the next time you scroll past a shocking headline about Rick Harrison being sentenced to life, think twice, because the only sentence he's truly living out is one of passion and perseverance in a humming garage filled with memories, machines, and the sound of dreams being restored. If Rick Harrison's garage surprised you as much as it did us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell so you never miss another unexpected reveal. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.